8 years. 8 long years had passed since I last saw her. Her name was Elena, the woman who held my heart, shattered it into a million pieces, and then vanished from my life like a ghost. Now, here I was, standing in the bustling lobby of my own company, a self-made millionaire, staring at a ghost from my past. It wasn't Elena, not exactly. It was a little boy, no older than 7, with her same startling green eyes and a familiar stubborn set to his jaw, my jaw. My assistant, Sarah, cleared her throat, pulling me from my trance. "Mr. Hayes, this is Elena Vance and her son, Leo. They're here for the community outreach interview." I blinked, the name hitting me like a physical blow. Vance. Not Hayes. She had moved on, of course. She had. Why wouldn't she? I forced a professional smile, extending a hand. "Elena. It's been a long time." Her eyes widened in shock, her hand hesitating before shaking mine. Her touch was just as electric as I remembered. "Kalev. I had no idea you were the CEO of Hayes Industries." The little boy, Leo, tugged on her sleeve, his gaze curious and a little wary. "Mom, is this the man we're talking to?" His voice was small but clear, and it sent an inexplicable shiver down my spine. "Yes, sweetie," Elena said, her voice strained. "This is Mr. Hayes." I knelt down to his level, my corporate armor cracking. "Hello, Leo. It's very nice to meet you. I hear you're quite the artist." A shy smile broke through his caution. He clutched a small portfolio to his chest. "I like to draw buildings," he mumbled, looking at his feet. My heart ached. 8 years ago, Elena and I were inseparable. We were young, broke, but wildly in love. I was an aspiring architect, and she was my biggest supporter. A budding journalist with a fiery spirit. We dreamed of building a life together, a family. I would design our home, she would fill it with stories, and our children would fill it with laughter. Then, one day, it all fell apart. I came home to an empty apartment and a short, cold note on the kitchen counter. "I can't do this anymore, Caleb. I'm leaving. Don't look for me." Just like that, she was gone. No explanation, no goodbye. The pain was all-consuming. I threw myself into my work, burying the heartbreak under blueprints and business deals. I built an empire, but the foundation was hollow. I became the man I thought she wanted, the successful man who could give her everything. But she wasn't there to see it. Now, she was back, and with a son who looked so much like me, it was unnerving. As I led them to my office, the questions swirled in my mind. Why did she leave? Whose son was he? And why, after all this time, did the sight of her still make my world tilt on its axis? The interview was for a feature on local entrepreneurs giving back to the community. Elena, now a respected local journalist, was poised and professional, but I could see the tension in her shoulders. Leo sat quietly, sketching in his notebook. I tried to focus on her questions about my company's new youth mentorship program, but my eyes kept drifting to the boy. He had my dark, wavy hair. He had the same way of tilting his head when he was concentrating. He was a miniature version of the man I saw in the mirror every morning, but with Elena's vibrant eyes. The math was simple and agonizing. 8 years since she left. The boy was 7. "Leo's a very talented artist," I remarked, trying to keep my voice steady. "Where does he get it from?" Elena's smile was tight. "His father was creative." Was past tense. A pang of something jealousy. Relief shot through me. After the official interview concluded, I couldn't let them leave. Not yet. "Elena, can we talk?" Alonchi hesitated, looking at Leo, who was now engrossed enjoying the city skyline from my panoramic office window. "Leo, honey, can you wait with Sarah for a few minutes? I need to talk to Mr. Hayes." He nodded, not looking up. Once the door closed, the professional facade crumbled. The silence was thick with unspoken words, with years of pain and confusion. I was the first to break it. "Why, Elena? Why did you leave?" Tears welled in her eyes, the ones I once promised I'd never cause. I was scared, Caleb. Her voice was a whisper. We were so young. You had these huge dreams, and I felt like I was holding you back. We were struggling so much. Then, I found out I was pregnant. The world stopped. The air left my lungs. Pregnant. You were pregnant. I breathed, the words barely audible. With my child. With my child. She nodded, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek. Yes. I panicked. I thought another mouth to feed would be the end of your dream. I saw how much pressure you were under. So, he left. I thought I was doing the right thing, setting you free to achieve everything you wanted without the burden of a family you weren't ready for. My legs felt weak, and I sank into my chair. A son. I had a son. For 7 years. A piece of my heart had been out there in the world, and I never knew. Aburden? Elena, you and our child would never have been a burden. You were my dream. All of this, I gestured around my opulent office. It means nothing without you. I did it all for you, hoping one day you'd come back. The confession hung in the air between us. I went to my parents, she continued softly. They yelped me. I got a job. I raised Leo. I always kept track of you, from a distance. I saw you become this incredible success. I was so proud, but I thought I'd made my choice. I never imagined we'd meet again like this. I walked over to the window, standing beside my son. Leo. He looked up, holding his drawing. It was a remarkably detailed sketch of the Hayes Industries tower. My tower. Look, he said proudly. I drew your building. My voice was thick with emotion. It's the best drawing of it I've ever seen. I looked from the drawing to his face, my son's face. All the anger and resentment I'd held on to for 8 years melted away, replaced by an overwhelming wave of love and a profound sense of loss for the time we demissed. I turned back to Elena, my heart raw and open. You didn't set me free, Elena. You took my heart with you. You took our son. But you're here now. We're here now. I reached out, my hand hovering over hers. Is it too late? She looked from me to Leo, then back again, her green eyes shimmering with unshed tears. I don't know, Caleb. So much time has passed. So many mistakes were made. Mistakes can be forgiven, I said, my voice firm with a newfound purpose. Time can be made up for. Let me be a father to my son, Elena. Let me be the man I was always meant to be for both of you. Please. Leo looked between us, his young face filled with confusion. Mom, is Mr. Hayes my dad? Elena finally took my hand, her fingers intertwining with mine. It felt like coming home. She knelt down and pulled Leo into a hug, looking at me over his shoulder. Yes, sweetie, she said, her voice filled with a hope I thought was lost forever. He is. In that moment, standing in my high-rise office, surrounded by the symbols of my success, I finally felt rich. Not because of the money or the empire, but because my family, the real treasure I'd lost, had finally come back to me. The past was painful, but the future, for the first time in 8 years, looked bright. It was a new blueprint, one I couldn't wait to build, together. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for more stories.